Hey, Sunshine, I do Buckaroos. How the heck are you? Didn't really have time to plan this one. Got home a little late and to get some stuff ready. Didn't realize what time it was, actually. Didn't realize it was as late as it was. I'm tired. It was a day. It was a busy day. It was a strange one. Started out kind of slow, but not unusual for a Friday. Sometimes I get hit right the second I open up, but sometimes it's after two. But and it was. I had a small party come in early on, shortly after I opened, but it stayed just them up until about two. Then it kind of gradually got busier and busier. By 3 o'clock, I was pretty well full. And it kind of emptied out a little bit, but then we had to meet the artists from 5 to 7, so it filled up for them. And then after 7, it kind of emptied out, but then a whole new crowd came in. And we closed at 10, so I typically call last call about 9:30, and then I had a whole bunch come in about it was about 9:15. I had two different parties come in. So holy shit, what the hell is going on? But we've got a festival in town this weekend and a few folks from out of town, so I tried to make them welcome. Anyways, I digress. How the heck are you? I am Ton of Beer Whisperer. And like I said, this one's impromptu. I just grabbed some stuff quickly. I didn't grab. I don't know if I'll drink both of them, but I did grab two beers, and I grabbed a glass to have some whiskey. This one some friends gave to me. Dan and Kim, thank you guys. Kawanda Pelican Brewing. This is a pre-prohibition cream ale. Don't say much more about it than that. It's at 5.4%. I'm going to assume if they're saying it's a pre-prohibition cream ale, typically the style does use a little bit of corn. Cheaper breweries will use corn syrup, but the better breweries will just use some good flaked corn. I'd like to think I'll be able to tell one way or the other, but pours nicely. In my tavern style Pilsner glass, Lancia. Oh yeah, nice nose. Again, I feel a little bit of corn there, but not in that, cheap adjunct lager sort of way. My first beer of the day. Around beer all day and don't drink any of it. It's a shame, really. It's a shame, really. Anyways, I am tired though. I've told some of you that I've been dealing with my right knee. My left knee did a knee replacement about 3 years ago. I was hoping my right knee would hold out a little longer though, but a little over a month ago now. I guess it was right on St. Patrick's Day. Now I think about it. I moved wrong, and oh gosh, that knee buckled the other direction. It was terrible. And I waited a few weeks before I finally went to see a doctor. I should have went right away, but I didn't. Took some X-rays. In fact, I'm waiting for them to schedule MRI as we speak. But basically, so the arthritis is, not good. And there was one area there where most of the pain was, the lower left side of the right knee. So that area is, you can see, we're looking at the X-ray. So that's just bone on bone there. So I had him do the cortisone shot. They say it usually takes a week to 10 days for it to work. After about a week, I wasn't really getting any relief. Then at about 10 days, it was better, but not good. It was really right about the day before it would be 2 weeks, actually, is when I really felt the most relief from it. Okay. And then today, I'm just on your feet for 10 and a half hours. It's gonna hurt. So it does hurt now, but it's more fatigue than that pain I was feeling before. But the good thing is what I was struggling with is it would still buckle on me from time to time. So I've gone just about a week now without it trying to buckle on me. So as long as it'll keep doing that, I'll be happy. Oops, the wrong button there. I was trying to see that. Anyway, if you're still with me, Slancha, I'll take the first drink of this beer. An oft overlooked style because just a lot of breweries do it badly, right? It's kind of been known to be a cheap beer, but if a craft brewery does it just right, it's absolutely brilliant. You use that little bit of corn to create just an easy drinking beer. And this one is very nice, a little earthy, just that hint of sweetness, but not overly so. Oh, good Lord. Boy, that first beer today, man. I tell you what. I tell you what. Mercy. One of my regulars, I like to think that they're good friends now. Was I'm not going to mention their names, but his birthday today. They're a great couple, wonderful parents, but they treat the old man pretty well. So I like to treat them well back when I can. It's an interesting place to work because a lot of these folks have become more like family. The 3 years that I've been there, you get really close to these folks. I don't feel like they're customers anymore. Most of them are friends. Oh, mercy. This is really nice, actually. Wow. It is the absolute perfect first beer, right? It's not taxing on the taste buds, but there is some flavor there. Very nice. April 23rd marked the 13 years since we lost our son Seamus. It was just, how did I want to say this? We were just empty nested sooner than we were ready for. And there are a lot of things that you kind of take for granted. And I'm kind of going the long way and the sad way around the barn to tell you something really silly. Is that it's taken me a long time to learn how to cook for just two of us because I was used to cooking a lot of food, man. So anyway, getting to what I'm fixing for a late night dinner for us tonight is I had a pound of ground beef the other day. I used half of it for something else. So I made just this small, basically, half a pound, two-person meatloaf. But then she also had some red potatoes, and I know they typically tell you don't bake red potatoes, but I like them. I don't know. You can have the russets if you like, but I like the golden and the red. So anyway, I got some taters in the oven, and I've got that little meatloaf. We'll see how that comes out. And we had some friends offer to take us out of town tomorrow. Um, to an area known for horse racing, not the actual Kentucky Derby, but an area that is known for horse racing. We'll go someplace where they'd have an iron. And we both really wanted to go, but we were both so exhausted. It's just been a rough emotional week. I had to make the hard decision, and so now we appreciate it, but we're both too exhausted to go because we really wanted to go. But I also knew, it's about a 5-hour drive. But it was really nice of them to. It was really nice of them to ask us. I'm going to pour some whiskey after all. Trying to decide which of these two to have, and I haven't had either of them in a while. I think I'm going to go rye, actually. Started out a bourbon drinker, became an Irish whiskey drinker. Back to bourbon and American single malt, but I really have been digging the ryes. This one happened to be from Hard Truth, Barrel Finish Reserve Sweet Mash Rye. It's their 2024 blend. It's their sweet mash rye whiskey finished in cognac sauterne or cognac comma, Sauterne, PX, Pedro Jimenez Sherry, and Pedro Jimenez Brandy cast. So we've got cognac, Sauterne, sherry, and brandy going on in this one. Wow. That's why actually I've used this one a couple times to make a Manhattan. Some wouldn't do that with a whiskey this good. I do because it's that good. That gives you a really high-end Manhattan, especially with those barrel notes there. Anyway, this one's at 116.8 proof, it says, I do believe. So let me get my glass down here. You know, in the old days, I used to never measure. I used to just pour, but now I really need to know how much I'm drinking. I gotta have a handle on it. I've learned that in my old age. I need to know exactly what I'm pouring, how much I'm pouring. Oh, I am gonna pour that second beer though. After all, let's see what I do with it. This is a Maibach. I picked it up. I don't know what, a week or so ago, week and a half, from Goat Lab Brewery out of Lowell, Arkansas. This is a 7.1%. Maibach. They typically hover between 7 and 7.5. 7.1's on the lower side, but still right per style. I tell you, I did have one, and I brought a Crowler back that I drank last weekend from Natural State Brewing. I got to tell you, I really liked them. They tell you right off the top they specialize in lagers, and they specialize in German styles, but they do others. But boy, their Maibach was one of the best I've ever had, bar none. Oh. The Maibach, it's a little sweet on the nose, very malty, nice earthy slash herbal hop finish. Oh, excuse me. Get this bottle so I can get that bottle in the shot so you can see that there. Oh, let's see. Stay there for me so I don't make a mess again. Pick up this whiskey. Look at the color on that. I mean, that is an absolutely gorgeous whiskey, is it not? Penelope Booze is watching. If you're still with me, Slancha. Anybody ever has any questions or comments, feel free to put it up there. I will post most of them unless you're being a total asshat. There's always a lot of talk about the aromatics, the nose, the flavors, the finish, as there should be. But I think what a lot gets overlooked is those other things, right? How does it drink? How does it feel? This one is just pleasing to the palate. It just is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Straight rye whiskey. But yeah, I mean, typically a whiskey this good, you probably do want to drink mostly neat. But man, with those different barrel finishes in there, it really is tailor made to make you the best Manhattan you've ever had in your life. Here's the however is if you're using whiskey this good, make sure your sweet vermouth is that good as well. Put that up here. Oh. I'm going to hope to be able to do nothing tomorrow. Like I said, we were offered a chance to go somewhere yet tomorrow, but and we both really wanted to go. I mean, really, really. But then at the end, I really thought about, man, we are both so exhausted. I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to enjoy it. And then another friend's offered a couple days ago to come over and do an impromptu whiskey tasting tomorrow. But again, I'm just so exhausted. I'd probably be better off just staying home and not doing anything on my day off. Oh, that, and I do have a nice slab of baby back ribs. Gonna be a nice day, below 60s, but it's supposed to be sunny tomorrow. Man, I may just stay home and smoke those ribs. Steam up some of those red taters I have, make some red potato salad, have some ribs. Oh man. That's how an old fat man likes to relax. Oh, mercy. I haven't bought any new liquor in a while. I don't like to collect, right? I'm not a collector. I'm not one of those guys that buys a whole bunch of stuff just for the sake of buying a whole bunch of stuff. And then you have all these bottles that have this much out of them, right? Or just not opened at all. So I tend to buy a lot at one time, but then I quit buying and go through everything I have. But that's the point I'm at now, is I haven't bought anything for a while. And I have so many open bottles. I didn't realize I had quite as many open bottles as I do. So I'm trying to work through them now. Got a vacation coming late summer. So usually when I go on vacation, I tend to buy a lot of stuff and replenish, and I quit buying for a while. So right now I'm down to four four unopened big bottles and two unopened smaller bottles. Yes. So a total of five bottles, but two of them happen to just be two little bottles. Anyways, but I do have a bottle. I have a bottle of Blanton's that some friends gave me last year for my 60th birthday. And I've gone through all of my other birthday whiskey, and I got a lot. And but I finished them all, and I haven't. But that's the last one that I haven't opened yet. So I'm kind of deciding. I'm trying to hang on to it, not open it until my birthday this year, or at least that weekend. Anyway, so I think my birthday is actually. I can't remember if it's on it is on a Sunday this year. But I may bring it and share it with some friends or do something. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. Gonna put that down for a second and work back on this beer. It's nicely done, Maibach. I don't like to use the term better when folks say, well, this is better than that, or that's better than this. To me, the word better implies quality. So I won't say another Maibach is better, but there's like that one from Natural State. For me, it was more in my wheelhouse, if you will, but there was nothing wrong with this one. That's why I don't want to say that, well, that one's better than this one, because it's really about small taste preferences, right? The mouthfeel, the viscosity, all those little things come into play. Would like to go back to Natural State, though. I really liked them a lot. Oh, But like I said earlier, man, we have got a vacation coming up late September. So again, it's one of another reasons why we didn't go, even though there would have been a lot of expenses for us to go. But I knew I would end up buying a lot of other things, trying to put some money back for this vacation because it's a very big and the biggest one we've ever taken. Uh, oh mercy. Pick this whiskey up again. Let me show that to you. Dick, if you're still watching, Slancha, hadn't heard from you in a while. Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, I didn't want to mess around with trying to make a cocktail, at least for this video anyway. As I grabbed the beers, grabbed some glasses. That was pretty much it. So, okay, I got time to make a cocktail because the Manhattan might have sounded good. Again, the bottom line is I'm just so tired that I just, didn't want to take the time to make the cocktail at this moment in time. So I wanted to pour some whiskey, relax. The older I get, the more I appreciate neat drinking, right? Because you can really feel that whiskey. I don't want to dull the flavors and aromas with ice. And again, that caveat for me is certain cocktails, right? I do like an old fashioned every once in a while. Although I tend to make mine straight up, serve more like a Manhattan than what has become known as an old fashioned. But I think a lot of folks forget that the big ice cube, that's rather a nouveau thing, right? Traditionally, the old fashioned was served straight up, either in a rocks glass or a coupe, but it was chilled and then poured into the glass, much like a Sazerac, for instance. Adding that ice cube is more of a nouveau thing, and that just makes millennials happy. Millennials love that big cube, boy. I like my drink to be cold all the way through. Well, I like my drink not to be watered down. I like it cold, fine, but I don't want it watered down. The truth is, a good cocktail, like a good beer, does not need to be ice cold. If you're using good ingredients, you don't have to freeze the bejeebers out of it, man. Just chill it nicely, right? If you're doing your job, chill the glass first, properly chill your cocktail, strain, pour. And unless you're one of those folks that takes 40 minutes to drink a cocktail, I personally am not one of those. Yeah, it's going to stay pretty cold from start to finish. It's not going to stay ice cold from start to finish. But I'd say typical duration is 15 to 20 minutes top in. If it takes you longer than that, well, then hell, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you need to learn how to drink. Anyways. But yeah, I mean, a good Manhattan, for instance, it's nice to have it very cold to start with, but you don't need it cold all the way through. You're using good ingredients, or I hope you are. So, I mean, again, like a good craft beer, it doesn't need to be ice cold. You've got good ingredients. Oh. So yeah, two of my very best friends, or two good friends of my wife and I, invited us to go somewhere tomorrow, and we politely declined. Although we agonized about it for a couple of hours, because we both really wanted to go, but they needed to know this evening if we could or not. So you know what? As tired as we are, we probably better pass. So we asked if we would please get a rain check to this time. This weekend will not work. And then a couple other very good friends of mine offered to, come over tomorrow for kind of an impromptu whiskey tasting. They got some other friends coming over, and it really sounded like fun in all honesty. But again, I'm just so tired I don't know that I really want to be around anybody. I get kind of socialized out at work, man. And then, like I said, I got that nice rack of ribs, and you know what? I'm just gonna get that ready. Go outside. It's gonna be about. It says 62. That's warm enough for me. It's supposed to be sunny, not overcast. So I'll sit out there, smoke those ribs. It's kind of where I'm leaning towards. If I'm feeling really good tomorrow, I may go to my friends, but to be honest, I'm leaning towards just smoking some ribs, steaming some red tater salad. I'm doing some nice barbecue at home. It's a lot of different styles of barbecue, and everybody's got their favorites. If you're from a specific neck of the woods, you're always going to think, well, that's the best. I'm not a huge fan of Texas barbecue. I think if you're looking for only brisket, Texas barbecue is good. But Texas barbecue typically doesn't do pork, which really is barbecue to me. Yeah, I mean, if you're not doing pork butt, if you're not doing ribs, are you really doing barbecue at all? Anyways, but over the years, I've come to really enjoy the Memphis style. Right, growing up, family always made wet ribs. I always had sauce on them. And then when I finally had Memphis dry ribs, oh man, this is how I like them. Kansas City barbecue is very similar. So I've kind of done a hybrid between Memphis style, Kansas City style, and St. Louis. It's kind of where I really like. And I like the unpretentious way that traditional Kansas City barbecue is served. Now, they've got some trendy restaurants now that seem to get all the attention. But classic, non-pretentious barbecue restaurants in Kansas City, they typically serve everything, whatever meat or side you order, everything comes with white bread, onions, and pickles. So that's typically how I like to serve stuff, because I like the non-pretentious plating. You get your stuff put on there, and then you got the white bread, the onions, sliced onions or pickles, and that just adds to everything. Went down the wrong way. The other thing is sauce. Texas typically doesn't like sauce. I'm kind of okay with that, in all honesty, if your brisket is that good. But I like to push back on the notion that if it's good, it doesn't need sauce. Because if it's good, it might not need it. But here's the thing: if you're adding sauce to bad product, is to cover it up. But the right sauce on the right product, you're not covering up, you're enhancing. The example for that is a prime rib. A great prime rib, you don't need sauce or anything on, but a lot of places still serve it with au jus or horseradish sauce. Neither is meant to cover up any flaws. They're there to enhance. And so I push back on those no sauce people. Is a good sauce isn't going to cover it up, it's going to enhance. Anyways, I've talked for a very long time now, and it's just about midnight, so I probably ought to wrap it up. Well, at least in my neck of the woods. If you're on the East Coast, you're probably in bed. If you're on the West Coast, you're probably still partying and not watching me. anyways, I digress. So I've kind of gone a long way around the bar. So tomorrow I will do a dry rub on the ribs. I won't have any sauce when I eat them. I usually only use sauce if I'm having a hot link. or if I'm having a pulled pork, I might add a little or have a little bit of sauce on the side. Again, not to cover up, but to enhance. But a lot of it depends on what sauce you're using. Are you making it yourself? What store brand sauce do you like the best? Certain sauces do taste better, and other sauces are made more to cover up. I'm not a sweet sauce guy. Uh, if I'm going to St. Louis, the barbecue I hit all the time is Pappy's. They are the best. And I'm gonna go out on a limb. In my opinion now, and I haven't tried every barbecue restaurant in the state, but of all of those that I've had, if I had to only pick one, it would be Pappy's. There are some personal and sentimental reasons for that choice, but I'll tell you, my wife and I hadn't been there in a while, and it was about, well, it's almost 3 years ago now. We were passing through there and got something to eat before we headed back to Springfield, and we went, "Oh my God, this is why we love this place because it was just so good. The ribs were just perfect." There are some great barbecue restaurants in Kansas City. But the problem for me is the places that folks always recommend. You need to go to this one, this one, and this one. I'm not going to mention those names. And it's not that any of those restaurants are bad. They are not, but they're not. I don't know. They're more trendy barbecue than traditional barbecue to me, being an old guy. So I go to those places and I look at the menu, and it's not pulled pork. It's pulled pork, but it's this, and this. It's not ribs. It's this with this. We got this mango and something. You know, I just want the fucking food smoked. I don't need this nonsense on the side. I don't need you to make this pretentious thing and take something that should be $15 and turn it into 45. So I recently made a lot of folks upset on a barbecue thread because they were all posting these trendy restaurants that I'm aware of and I've had. But so when I go to Kansas City, the first barbecue I ever had out there was Gates, and I know it's not the trendy place, but they are and it's a local chain. But I mean, they are consistent. You're going to get what you're going to get. And one person said, "Well, I don't go there because I don't like being yelled at." Okay, well, don't be an idiot. You won't get yelled at. So the first thing my wife and I noticed when we were there is they won't yell at you. These people that think they're yelling at you, they're not yelling at you. They are asking you a question in a very matter of fact sort of way. And if you're not smart, they're going to let you know. So the very first time my wife and I were at a Gates, it was about mid-90s, I think. And we kind of found it by accident, and we were in the wrong part of town. We got lost. We were in Kansas City because my dad was in the hospital, not doing well. And we went out to get something to eat to really talk about some very uncomfortable things. And we got lost. And then we saw that restaurant. We pulled in. And we were the only Caucasian folks in the joint, man. But the folks there were helpful. They didn't yell at us. They clearly knew we were in the wrong spot. They helped us out with the order. We got it to go. We got back to our hotel room. We took a bite. We went, "Oh my God." This is the best barbecue we've had in our lives. Anyways, my timer just went off in the kitchen, so I need to get back to my stuff. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and must Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, all around good guy, Slancher. Thanks for putting up with me this evening.